Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome back to my channel. I've got the Honda Dax 125 on the lift for the first time. Previous mod that I did was lowering the suspension, and I think for one it makes it look a lot more like this little dog that gets the name Dax from Dachshund. I think it looks way cooler, but now it's time to make a little bit of noise and maybe a little bit of power. So from an engine perspective, eventually I'm going to go all out with the A-Racer and big bore kit, etc. But to set things off, I'd like to put an exhaust on the bike. With just the exhaust, I'm not going to even bother with a tune. Once I start to do the other engine modifications, I'll do the A-Racer and tune everything correctly. But with just putting on the exhaust, the engine will run a little bit lean. I'm not worried about it being a problem overall. So the exhaust that I went with is from Yoshimura. This is actually from Yoshimura Japan. There's kind of two different Yoshimuras. There's Yoshimura Japan and Yoshimura RD. Yoshimura RD is based in the United States, and they make exhausts like the one for the Monkey that, for one, has that O2 bung, which is great because for running the A-Racer, I need an O2 bung. This is from Yoshimura Japan. It doesn't have the O2 bung, so I'll have to have that welded on. My guess is Yoshimura RD at some point does make an exhaust for this bike, but want to get something on the bike now, so went with this one. I'll do a quick unboxing, and then we'll get it on the bike. The installation itself should be pretty simple. I bought this from WeBike, but I did see that Man in the Box actually has these for sale. They're currently listed for pre-order, and they're for the most part the same price as it is on WeBike with the shipping, so probably easier to order it from Man in the Box. I'll link to both Man in the Box and WeBike for this exhaust in the description below. But let's open this up quickly. Also, the shape of the exhaust that I got, it comes up, I think this model is called the Cyclone, but it comes up and sweeps back similar to the way that the stock exhaust looks. So a couple of reasons why I went with this, because there were some other much cooler looking exhausts from Over Racing and some of the other big companies that sweep underneath here, a style that I typically like, but I noticed, and you'll see it once I remove this exhaust, that the frame right here has kind of ugly welds, and I just felt it looked really empty having all that space open. Kind of similar to the Monkey, that if you did a underswept exhaust, the space that it left was strange. They did make other plates to go over that portion to fill it out, but on this bike that really isn't an option, so I thought I'd keep the classic look. It's also a very simple looking exhaust. My guess too on this bike, I'm probably going to go through a few different exhausts, so I think this one meets the mark for now, and we'll see how long that it stays on the bike. But I think it looks simple and classic, fills the space that I'm looking for. I also like the mounting points. Another point is that a lot of the other underswept exhausts use this mounting point off of the rear sets, instead of the mounting point up here on the shock. I'm probably going to eventually change these rear sets. I think I'm going to run Monkey rear sets that doesn't have this little standoff here to hold the exhaust. So pay attention when you're buying exhaust where it mounts, depending on what other mods you're planning to do to your bike, because again, in my case, since I know I'm going to change the rear sets, I can't use this mounting point. Okay, let's get the exhaust open, take a look, and throw it on the bike. All right, so quick unboxing. Caution, these are the mounting pieces. Again, only a few. This looks like it'll be a simple install. Instructions and some stickers. And this is it. I think it's just one piece. It's not I don't think it's a header and pipe situation. It's just, all right, and that's it. Again, a very simple looking setup. It's got this nice little metal plate that says Yoshimura Racing Spirit. It's this probably ceramic coated black. Anyway, again, it couldn't be more simple. I'll show you real quick what the standard exhaust sounds like. I think everybody knows what a standard Honda 125cc sounds like at this point, but I'll give it a couple of light revs. The engine's really cold. And then we'll pop this on. All right, stock 125cc. Sounds great, super boring. Okay, let's take it off. I'd actually removed portions of this before when I was taking off, what was I doing? The rear shocks. So I believe it's a 12 millimeter nut here and a 12 millimeter socket here and here. It looks like these exhaust nuts are the only other thing holding it on. These are my fancy exhaust nuts from the speed shop. I think that might be it. Let's see if it just comes off. Nope, there's one other mounting point somewhere. All right, there's one other mounting bolt right here. This is a 12mm head. And I think now we can just pull it off. Very easy. Super clean, super simple. Also should be an easy installation. So you really should change the exhaust gasket anytime you're changing the exhaust. I'm going to need to pull this off again pretty soon to have an O2 bung welded on here, so no reason to waste another gasket. But just be mindful that if you are doing this, you probably should buy the Honda gasket. It's only a few bucks. So during the unboxing, I missed two things. One, there's this cool carbon fiber heat shield. It's a real carbon fiber, nice gloss finish with the Yoshimura sticker. The sticker is inside the clear coat, so that's not coming off. And also this big L bracket. This must go right around here to hold the whole exhaust to the back of the bike. So the instructions are in Japanese, but the diagram is pretty clear. Let's just put all this stuff together. So we no longer need this little 17mm standoff because the exhaust mount is just going to go directly against this. So for this rear bracket, you wrestle this little rubber grommet and metal collet into this portion. All right, so going to remove this 14mm engine mount. I'm going to hold the nut on the other side. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And I think it looks great. Again, super simple. I don't know about the colors. I may paint this bike at some point, but this red looks okay with this red. And again, when you're looking down on the bike, you're not going to see this whole mess as much. Plus, I'm going to get rid of these rear sets. I don't need this mounting point, so that's great. And so then there's a nut that goes on the inside of this exhaust bracket. So it's a bit precarious. You need a 13mm wrench to drive the bolt and 12mm to hold the nut. I have ratcheting functions on my box wrenches, which makes this a little bit easier. I've got a 14mm wrench on the other side holding it down. Okay, so that was probably one of the easiest Minimoto exhaust installs that I've done yet. Both pulling the stock one off was simple, and it was even easier putting the new one on. I might recommend assembling this rear bracket before you get it onto the bike. That made it a little more difficult to try to maneuver back here once it was already mounted. So I'd get it at least most of the way so that you can just do final tightening once it's mounted up there. But other than that, everything was very easy. Again, I like the mounting points, that it's using the engine mount here and not the rear set because I'm going to get rid of those rear sets. Also probably one of the most simple looking exhausts that I've had on a Minimoto so far. So anyway, let's fire it up for the first time. It's dark and a little bit rainy right now, so tomorrow morning I'll get it out, ride it around, and really warm it up so that you can hear what it really sounds like. But let's do first start. Honestly, I think it sounds really cool. It's not as low as some of the other Yoshi exhausts that I've had. Let's give it a few light revs. Airplane's going over too. I don't know if that was mixing with the sound, but actually it sounds great. It's not screamy loud. It's not overly deep. There was some cool pops coming out of it. Anyway, happy with it. Let's continue this tomorrow morning when we can get it out, ride it around, get some good angles of it on the bike with the sun, and yeah, see you in the morning. Oh, I almost forgot the heat shield. This thing looks super cool. Let's get this on. The way that it works is there's this clamps it around the pipe and has a little standoff so that we can put some nuts on here to hold it right around there. But yeah, let me get that on real quick. Okay, so I think that looks great. We'll pick it back up tomorrow morning when I can get the bike really warmed up, ride it around, get to hear what it sounds like at idle and at wide open throttle, and hopefully get some cool shots riding it around town. Okay, I rode the bike around a little bit. I think it sounds great. It's warm, so I can give it some revs for you. So again, really easy install. I think it sounds great, it looks great, and got a lot more modifications coming for this bike. So anyway, thank you everybody very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.